안녕하세요. CryptoviralTV의 크립토벤저 원입니다. 지금까지 저희 영상 시청해주시고 구독해주신 모든 분들 다 감사드립니다. 좋은 정보 열심히 공유하도록 하겠습니다. 질문이든가 궁금한 게 있으시면 댓글로 남겨주시고요. 오늘은 또 미러블루 떠납니다. FidentiaX 이코인하우 코엑스에서 주최하는데 같이 출발하시죠. Hey, what's up guys? This is Eric from CryptoviralTV and I'm here with Alvin from Fidentia.
Hi everybody.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Alvin. I'm actually the CEO co-founder of FidentiaX. I've been in the banking for the last 15 years. Right, so we started FidentiaX probably 1.5 years ago. FidentiaX is actually a marketplace for tradable insurance policy. So what we're trying to do is to match willing buyers and willing sellers to extract higher value from the insurance policy. So one of the problem statements that we're trying to address is this: a lot of insurance policy holders doesn't know that their policy is actually an asset that could be traded for higher value. When faced with a liquidity crunch, right? So what they normally do is they just approach the insurance company to surrender the policy, which is not the smartest thing to do, because typically we have invested a lot of your money into the insurance policy, invested for a period of time, and when you surrender the policy, the cash value of the policy is actually very low. Because typically for an insurance plan, right, the first couple of years of the insurance goes towards paying your insurance agents referral fees, commission, underwriting requirements, etc., etc. So by the probably at the third year, you still be suffering at least 75% loss. Yeah.
Wow. So the problem seems to be that, I mean, obviously the insurance companies have to make money somewhere else, so. But the problem seems to be that when people are at economic loss, when people can't pay their insurance policies and keep up with their payments, they end up surrendering their contract.
That's right.
And that there's more liquidity to be made in not surrendering the contract itself and selling it to someone else to reap the benefits that I would normally reap, while still being reimbursed for my time and money that I spent into the contract itself.
That's right.
Where does Fidentia fit into that? Where does the solution come?
Right, so the issue now we have is the lack of awareness in the marketplace, and there's actually no recognizable marketplace for you to do a buy and sell trade. And if you in the rare situation where you know that you can sell a policy, and somebody knows that you can buy a policy, right, there's always a reliance on a third party, typically a trust company or a lawyer, to effect the transaction across border. So having Fidentia as a marketplace allows willing buyers and willing sellers to transact in a secure and transparent manner, whereby value will just change from buyers to sellers, or sellers to buyers, sorry.
Exactly how big of a profit margin would the buyers be looking at when they are buying an insurance policy, let's say of 3 years paid and 10 years to go?
Right, it very much depends on how much you're paying for the policy. I can give you a very simple example. If I have a 10 years endowment plan, which is a saving plan, I've been paying $12,000 per year. At the end of year 3, right, I've paid $36,000 into the policy. But if I go to the insurance company to surrender the policy, I only get back about $12,000. So I'm taking a huge hit on my actual premium.
About a 66% hit.
Yeah, exactly. So
loss.
if you sell the policy to me at say $18,000, right, effectively I'm reducing my loss by half, right, to 50%. And as a buyer, right, you buy a policy at $18,000. If you think about it, the policy is actually worth $36,000, right? Because the previous owner actually put in $12,000 every year for the last 3 years.
Yes.
Right. So you are buying a $36,000 policy at $18,000. That's a huge discount, 50%.
Yeah, of course.
And not forgetting the time that the initial policyholder invested over the last 3 years.
So you're paying what they're paying, except
instead of it being a 10-year policy, it ends up being a 7-year
7 years policy, exactly. And you limit the whole setup cost of the insurance, which is typically the commission and underwriting cost. So you'll be getting at, if you do it at $18,000 to maturity, your yield to maturity IRR is looking at close to probably about 5 to 6%. Is it a sexy return? It is not a sexy return. Let's put it this way. Well, if you are in the crypto world, I guess you can get much better return in a day.
Yeah.
But then again,
But it's a safe return.
It is.
I mean, there's always a risk in the crypto world.
exactly. So that's a very strong point. We actually did a comparison of a pseudo portfolio of tradable insurance policy versus a fixed asset class, for example, a money market fund, which is very liquid instrument. The yield for a tradable insurance policy portfolio, right, will far outperform that of a money market fund.
Yes.
You take a slightly higher risk into a fixed income fund like a bond fund, right? We're still looking at probably about 4 times better than a bond fund.
Yes.
Yeah. So as an asset class, right, it's actually a very attractive asset class.
So,
For similar risk class, they're taking off. Yeah.
I mean, high risk, high returns. This is low risk,
Reasonable returns.
reasonable returns,
Yeah,
at least middle returns.
Yeah.
I classify that as sexy.
That's good.
Safe is always sexy. Which insurance policies would you say are negotiable so that the viewers who know nothing could understand,
Sure.
know nothing about the policy itself could understand?
Okay, so insurance can be broadly classified into 2 different categories. One is the life insurance and the general insurance. General insurance is something that most of your viewers would probably be very, very familiar with. Your car insurance,
Yes.
your hospitalization insurance, your travel insurance. So those are broadly classified as general insurance, whereby there's no surrender cash value. So it's a form of transferring of risk, right? For life insurance, that's the market that we're targeting on. Life insurance policies such as your whole life insurance, endowment plan, universal life, annuity. So these are plans that has inherent cash value in the policy, and these are policies that you can actually sell for a higher value.
So all of the life insurance policies that fall under, you know, whether it's life insurance about death or endowment plans or like
Annuity.
annuity, funds for the future, kind of like Social
Yes,
Security-ish,
correct.
are all sellable policies.
Yes. Tradable policies.
Tradable policies. Sorry, so not sellable is the wrong word. I'm not very educated in insurance either.
No, it's good.
very
It's really good. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh wow, that really sums it up. That's a huge asset class. I mean, it's an untapped market, just like the blockchain market itself.
But the market size is actually huge, because we actually did a study on the surrender value. Okay, there's no published statistics on tradable insurance because this is such a disruptive market, right?
Yes.
But we can infer the potential market size for tradable insurance by looking at how much insurance premium was surrendered on an annual basis.
Yes.
So within Asia region, so Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Japan, and Korea, there are more than $700 billion worth of policies surrendered on the annual basis. Annual basis.
Every year.
Exactly.
$700 billion. like 700조 달러 뭐 환율 안 하고 그냥 700조 정도 되거든요.
Yeah.
billion dollars yearly.
Yearly. Exactly. And
That's
that's
nuts.
just ridiculous. Yeah. So you just imagine the
Is this
potential.
including China or not including China?
Excluding China.
Excluding China and just the Asian
Yeah.
markets, you're looking at $700 billion.
Exactly. So in US itself, as one country,
Yes.
United States has about 100 billion worth of policies surrendered on an annual basis, and statistically, 50% of it could be resold for higher value. That's 50 billion of market potential just in US itself.
Wow.
It is a huge market.
Are all these real world applications that you spoke about in the insurance tradable market involving FidentiaX liable to South Korean communities?
Yeah.
South Korean market?
We can't address on the taxation issue,
Yes.
right? But ultimately,
Tax is separate.
Tax is separate, yeah, definitely. You go to the boring guy, the tax consultant. For us, it's very simple. It's about an asset class that you can trade, right? And most of us follow the US law to a certain extent, or the British law.
Yes.
In 1911, the US Supreme Court ruled that an insurance policy is a tradable asset that could be assigned for value, right? And this is something that's happening in a couple of countries now. In Singapore, Malaysia, in Hong Kong, it's something that's very, very possible. And there's actually some companies that's actually doing some smaller trades on a more regional or localized basis. Within Korea and Japan, right, it's something that is unheard of, right? Something that, well, because of lack of awareness, right?
That and the fact that it's very inoperable in cost management. You have to go through a lawyer. I mean, you spoke of
Exactly,
taxation,
yeah.
and there's a very small market for it. I mean, I'm sure that as you
There's
said,
an
because
untapped
of
market.
awareness. Yes, small market in the sense of awareness.
Yes, that's right.
What is your marketing approach to all this? I mean, as you said, it's a market that's very unaware.
Right, so when you want to surrender a policy, who's the first person you talk to?
Your insurance policy.
Your intermediaries.
Yes.
Exactly.
Your middleman.
So your middleman. So that's what we are doing now in terms of how we are approaching this. Right, Fidentia is doing a lot of roadshows around the region. I myself have conducted a couple of talks to the insurance industry, both in Manila, Myanmar, Kuala Lumpur, Jakarta, and we just continue doing that to increase awareness within the insurance industry. You'll be surprised, right? Insurance industry veterans themselves are unaware that they can sell the policy.
That's crazy.
Exactly. I've spoken to a few CEOs of insurance company, and they're like, "Wow, are you sure we can do that?" And they imagine a bunch of C-suite level people discussing among themselves, and after that they came to the conclusion, "Oh shucks, this could be done, and this is damn disruptive to the market."
Yes.
So it's about getting the awareness within the industry itself, and we are approaching brokers and insurance agencies, IFAs, independent financial advisors, to get them aware of the potential in the sense of getting the referral.
So here's a question. My question is, you said you spoke to insurance company CEOs. Aren't they possibly losing out by helping you market this? As in, if someone surrenders the policy, aren't they making more off of the person surrendering the policy than of someone else buying the policy and continuing paying?
I like to think that there are some forward-looking CEOs within the insurance space that see this as a value add to the consumer. Right? We need to start to empower consumer and let them know what's their rights. Right? Their right is to be able to monetize the policy instead of just surrendering. And actually, if you look at it on the positive side, right? The CEOs of the insurance companies view this as an opportunity to sell more insurance because now there is a chance for you to liquidate at a higher value. Right, and the other thing to don't think about is this: during the financial crisis, there were a lot of policy that was being surrendered, and that caused a big hit on the insurance par fund.
That's true.
Which is very bad for the insurance company. So having a marketplace that acts as a dampener in terms of surrendering,
Yes.
that actually helps their business in the long run.
It's stabilization.
Exactly, yes, like a dampener and making sure that the shock drop is not that bad. Right, so it depends very much on how the CEO views this.
Yeah.
And I'm very sure there are forward-looking CEOs out there that see this as a value.
Fidentia's ICO was run last November, am I correct?
Yeah,
for
that's
the public sale. Exactly how big was the ICO? How much did it raise? And how many tokens are in market? And then I have a question for you right after.
Sure. Okay. So we did an ICO in November. We ended out in December. We took a lot of learning lessons from that particular ICO because we did it on a relatively fast track basis. We could have built a little bit more in terms of awareness and
I believe 4 months between your white paper all the way to the end of your ICO, am I correct?
Exactly.
That's crazy. 4 months is, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen ICOs happen from bottom to top. 4 months is a super tight schedule.
It is. Well, it was a very good learning experience.
Yes.
I slept probably on an average 3 hours a day for a couple of months, but I'm still very round, so I don't know why. So we raised about $1.5 million US. The circulation of the tokens is about 130 million tokens.
130 million tokens.
So I have to caveat. So founder took 25 million tokens, but we are locked in for the next 3 years.
Okay.
So we are vested in the long term for this project.
So FidentiaX has 25 million of the 130 million tokens, but they can't spend it for the next at least 3 years.
3 years, that's right.
Okay. So on the platform, on FidentiaX, the platform, let's say someone, I know your platform goes live at the end of this year, am I correct?
We are targeting by September, October.
September.
Yes.
Okay, so quarter 3 to 4 this year, your target is, and when it goes live, will people only be able to buy and sell those assets using the FidentiaX token, or will you guys have like a tradability, compatibility with other tokens also?
Right. So the thing is this: we want technology to be transparent to the user. So when we do the trades on the platform, it will be through fiat. Because as a policy holder that wants to sell the policy, right, that means that there's a liquidity requirement. It makes no sense for the person to receive an FTX token or Ether or Bitcoin.
So you would have to go through fiat.
Yeah.
And you guys would be the centralized point of entry for the fund and then exit for the fund payment also? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Do you guys have any plans on becoming a fully decentralized platform in the sense of replacing that fiat with whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, FidentiaX coin, or any other platform?
We are definitely having the plan to decentralize the entire platform. Ultimately, the fact is, insurance industry adaptation of blockchain is still at a very infancy stage. There are a lot of initiatives that's going on now.
I mean, regulations are even slow, so.
Yeah, regulation is tough, money laundering issues, and in terms of monetary controls of various different countries, right? We will definitely look forward to that possibility of being a fully decentralized marketplace. But I just want to be a bit more realistic about it. I don't think in the near future it will happen, but that's our objective. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
I have one last question, and it's actually not involving FidentiaX. It's as a businessman, as someone who understands, what blockchain technology is. Where do you see the future of the blockchain industry? I mean, where do you see the future of cryptocurrencies? Yes, there is the whole utopian dream of a decentralized banking system, but that's not going to happen in the near future in the eyes of realists. Where do you see that system coming in to real world solutions? For example, like yourself.
I think there are many companies out there that's trying to tackle real world issue by adopting blockchain technology as a solution. But the issue that I think the industry is facing is awareness, again the word awareness. Blockchain doesn't have a lot of good hype with the masses, right? For those that are in the know and understand how the features of blockchain can be a benefit to their applications, right? We'll start to slowly work around that issue. I've been hearing a lot from the insurance industry. They are very, very keen to learn, but accessing to the right technology and the right
option for the solution, the right application.
So the issue is that a lot of them are forcing blockchain onto a use case that doesn't require blockchain in the first place. And because of that, then becomes a stage whereby they will have a lot of private chain, which is then it will defeat the purpose of having a blockchain.
Yes, of course, then it's centralized.
Yeah,
it doesn't make
but
sense.
as regulators start to be a little bit more forward-looking and realizing that this is the train that you can't stop, and just waiting for him to get on board. I think a lot of different governments are exploring how they could do a blockchain solution around currencies, around digital identity.
It's the first time that any technology whatsoever has come forward and threatened the entire banking system of the world.
Which is the worry is the fear.
I dare say that it's literally unstoppable in the sense that the regulations will never be able to follow these technologies in the real world applications that it could hold. Which is why the banking systems first were like, no, this is a bubble, blah, blah, blah. And then they turn their heads and now Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, you see all these
everybody's on this, which is good stuff.
Which is great, which is great for the fact that, but the reason they can't ignore it is the fear of the technology itself, that it has so many applications. I mean,
yeah, well, the fact that we are replacing intermediaries, right? They have to make themselves relevant.
I mean, people made money from being intermediaries. There are entire business models that revolve around the fact that, well, middlemen.
Yeah, and I came from that industry.
Yes.
So I spent the last 15 years in the banking industry. But I think banks are now realizing that applying technology and instead of fighting against it, it makes more sense for them in the long run, and it's going to be more organic growth in the future. So a lot of banks in Singapore, for example, even in Hong Kong, right, they're starting incubator to explore blockchain technology and how they can incorporate that into the business. So as more companies start to adopt the technology, and not just small companies like ourselves trying to change the world per se, right? I think that change will hit the tipping point, but it will become the norm in the future. But if you will tell me it's going to be a fully decentralized model, there's no control over blockchain, etc. As a realist myself, it will never happen. Let's put it this way, I don't think the government will literally just let go of all controls, right? There'll be some form of controls, either on how the money moves into the system, how the money moves out of the system, right? And there's still this fear of money laundering, counter-terrorist financing, etc., which I think is a very, very valid concern, which blockchain as a technology has not really addressed that yet. And is it something that we could do? Who knows, somebody might come up with a brilliant idea in the next couple of months or year.
I mean, no one ever thought Satoshi Nakamoto was gonna come up with this
exactly
technology. So,
yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you so much for your time, and I'd like us to say bye to that camera,
yeah.
and we're gonna do that in 감사합니다. 1, 2, 3.
감사합니다.
Thank you!